From the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now, the latest news.
Kylie Conway has the latest news. The top headlines. News you can use.
Please stand by.
Sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling. Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Tuesday, November 16th. A much warmer and pleasant Tuesday on tap. A lot of sunshine. It'll be the best weather day of the week, with highs rising into the mid-50s to low 60s. And power is back on in a southeast side neighborhood after an overnight hit-and-run crash knocked it out. It happened near Stop 11 in 5 Points Road about midnight. Police say a car knocked over power poles and the driver left before officers got there. Investigators say they're not aware of any injuries. Conflict over a class project leads to an e-learning day at Muncie Central High School. The district says that there were protests at the high school yesterday morning. MCS says as part of the project, students created posters about social issues last week. The posters were then displayed in a hallway. The district says that led to a disruptive discussion between a student and a school resource officer. The district says students then protested when the teacher was asked to move those posters inside her classroom. MCS says it takes the concerns of parents and students very seriously and is looking into the incident. It says it'll make its findings known when the investigation is complete. The district also says in-person learning will resume tomorrow. And Pike Township schools will be holding another e-learning day today. The district made the call this morning around 5:30 because of a bus driver shortage. Again, this is the fourth e-learning day due to transportation issues since September. A lack of teachers led the district to cancel a day of school last month. Bus drivers joined teachers at a school board meeting recently and protested outside of one last month, calling for higher pay. The district and teachers union reached an impasse in contract negotiations. A mediator has now been brought in to oversee those talks. And today, a new event aimed at curbing the violence crisis in Indianapolis. The city is on the verge of breaking its homicide record again. There were 245 last year. So far this year, the count is 242, with a month and a half left. This morning, the Interdenominational Ministerial Alliance is teaming up with other groups for a breakfast and peace rally. It starts at 10 at Christ Temple Apostolic Faith Assembly on Fall Creek, just west of I-65. It's free and open to all. Organizers say they'll announce ways they plan to promote peace. And IMPD is looking to hire. It's taking its recruiting efforts south. Indianapolis police are at a huge law enforcement hiring event in Georgia today. Officials say the department, along with others across the country, are struggling to fill positions. IMPD says it's forced them to get creative and look outside the state for potential recruits.
What we want to do is take our time, make sure that we're hiring the best folks that will represent our community, enforce laws, and do the things that we need them to do. If you feel like it needs to be better, then we want you to join and make it better.
IMPD will still continue recruiting efforts locally. A portion of the American Rescue Plan, funds that were approved in the city's overall budget last month, is being used to help with hiring. And today, the fate of Kyle Rittenhouse is in the jury's hands. Deliberations start this morning in Kenosha, Wisconsin. In closing arguments yesterday, the two sides painted different pictures of the night Rittenhouse killed two men and wounded another. The prosecution claims Rittenhouse went looking for trouble. The defense says he had to shoot to save himself.
A lot of murder cases, we're in here trying to convince a jury that the defendant killed somebody. That's not in dispute here. That's the easy part. The question is, does he get a pass? Broke down crying about himself, not about anybody that he hurt that night.
Every person who was shot was attacking Kyle. One with a skateboard, one with his hands, one with his feet, one with a gun. Hands and feet can cause great bodily harm.
Wisconsin governor has ordered 500 of the state's National Guard soldiers to be on standby in case of violent protests following a verdict. No mistrial in the Ahmaud Arbery case. Defense attorneys asked for one Monday. The judge rejected it. Reverend Jesse Jackson joined Arbery's parents in court. The defense claimed that Jackson's presence could unfairly influence the jury. Last week, the defense objected to the presence of Reverend Al Sharpton, saying in part, "We don't want any more black pastors coming in here." The judge ruled yesterday that as long as there are no disruptions, he has no objection to anyone attending the trial. 3 men are on trial for shooting Arbery while he was out for a run in his Georgia neighborhood. The death served as a catalyst for the country's social justice movement. And police are looking for a gunman after a shooting near a Colorado high school. Police say the shooting happened in Aurora yesterday afternoon, just across the street from a high school. Officers say 6 teenagers who were all students at that school, ages from 14 to 18 years old, were sent to the hospital. Police say although the school was put on lockdown, no shots were fired inside the school. The police chief points to a bigger issue across the country.
Obviously, this is a very concerning incident for this city, as well as for this nation. I think we're seeing it's a public health crisis, really, when we think about gun violence anymore. There's a violence crisis across the nation right now, and so I think we all need to pay attention.
Officials haven't given any updates on how the teens are doing or if they had all been shot. Pass the president's plan or skip Thanksgiving. That's the message from Speaker Nancy Pelosi to fellow representatives. Pelosi says lawmakers will stay in session until the Build Back Better bill passes. The president claims his plan will create jobs, keep more people working, and push the country closer to its clean energy goals. Pelosi says a vote could happen by the end of the week, though some representatives first want to see a Congressional Budget Office report on the bill's true costs. And President Biden is hitting the road today to tout the signing of the bipartisan infrastructure bill. He's scheduled to be in New Hampshire to promote the new law as a source of jobs and repairs for things like aging bridges and roads. The trip comes a day after lawmakers from both parties gathered at the White House. The legislation will deliver $550 billion of new federal investments over 5 years. At the ceremony, Biden said the law would allow the U.S. to reaffirm its place as a global leader.
Because of this law, next year will be the first year in 20 years American infrastructure investment will grow faster than China's. We'll once again have the best roads, bridges, ports, and airports over the next decade. And we'll lead the world into the 21st century with modern cars and trucks and transit systems. We're going to do this by building again and moving again.
The president is scheduled to visit Detroit tomorrow. And this morning, Steve Bannon is vowing to fight back. The longtime ally of former President Trump turned himself in yesterday in Washington. He's facing 2 criminal contempt charges for failing to cooperate with the House committee investigating the Capitol riots. One count is for refusing to hand over documents. The other is for failing to appear for a deposition.
That's what this country's about. It's freedom of speech. They got their opinions. We have our opinions. Okay? We're going to go on the offense. We're tired of playing defense. We're going to go on the offense on this and stand by.
Bannon's attorney says Bannon is not cooperating at that congressional investigation because Trump has directed Bannon not to, citing executive privilege. His next hearing is scheduled for Thursday morning. The Wyoming Republican Party will no longer recognize Congresswoman Liz Cheney as a member of the party. The state's GOP voted on the resolution over the weekend. The resolution is symbolic and doesn't strip Cheney of any actual power. The vote comes as Cheney lost some of her base. She became critical of former President Donald Trump for his role in the Capitol insurrection. A spokesperson for Cheney shared a statement saying, in part, sadly, a portion of the Wyoming GOP leadership allowed themselves to be held hostage to the lies of a dangerous and irrational man. The Indiana Democratic Party is calling for the legalization of marijuana. According to the party, legalization would boost the economy, create jobs, and provide medicinal opportunities for veterans and seniors. The party says it could also start the process of expunging some criminal records and wants Republicans to look at how surrounding states are capitalizing on marijuana, like Illinois, Ohio, and Michigan.
We call on Republicans on the other side of the aisle who are interested or intrigued with this issue to start to talk about it, debate it, study it.
At the federal level, cannabis remains an illegal drug that's considered to have a high potential for dependency and no accepted medical use. To the Colts, the battle in Buffalo is days away, but still on the top of the minds of players, coaches, and fans. The team's riding high, though, after winning 4 of the last 5 games. Colts are back to a 500 on the year and firmly in the hunt for a playoff spot. Young players came up big in Sunday's win over Jacksonville. Dayo Odeyingbo teamed up with DeForest Buckner for a strip sack, ending the Jaguars' final threat. Our Colts insider, Zach Kiefer, says Odeyingbo and fellow rookie Kwity Paye need to keep coming up big for the Colts to upset the Bills.
And then Dayo finishing the game off. That's your first-round pick. That's your second-round pick. And you're going to need those guys. Who are you facing next week? Josh Allen, a quarterback. Who are you facing the week after? Tom Brady. If you can get those guys humming, that's how you can finish leads, because this offense is going to put up points.
The Colts kick off in Buffalo Sunday at 1. And the Pacers are looking to brush off a loss to the New York Knicks. The Pacers got off to a hot start last night, leading after 3 quarters thanks to 22 points from Malcolm Brogdon. But by the 4th quarter, the team scored only 2 baskets. The final score was 92-84. Head coach Rick Carlisle says the second half shows that the team has a lot more to work on.
Did get stagnant. There were situations where Even when we were trying to play just out of flow and pace without play calls, the ball stuck at times.
The Pacers travel to Detroit tomorrow night to take on the Pistons. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
The News 8 Daily 8 is sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling. Be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast, The News 8 Daily 8 with Kylie Conway. And be sure to discover even more great podcasts now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.